Then he got hot. That was great. And then he regressed to one of the worst quarterbacks in the league by passer rating, which turned out to be a fireable offense. Nick, how much of this is on Caleb?
Well, listen, Caleb needs to be better, and you hate that trajectory. The early struggle's fine, the ascent great, and then the whole team, Caleb, and falling apart post Hail Mary and Caleb's play falling off a cliff, really starting with that Hail Mary game. You had the good couple drives at the end, and then really bottoming out these 2 weeks. He needs to be better. I don't think Shane Waldron was doing a great job, and I also think the narrative surrounding Caleb is flatly wrong. Like this idea that, listen, Jaden has played better than all the rookie quarterbacks by a mile. He was, I think up until 2 weeks ago, a very legitimate front-of-the-envelope MVP, not Rookie of the Year, MVP candidate. I think that's cooled a bit, and Lamar has ascended further. But this idea that Caleb's been the worst of the starters is just not true. We can show you the other quarterbacks and what they've done, and what you'll see is they're almost identical. The records are about identical. Drake hasn't played, but extrapolate it. The yards per game, almost identical. The passer ratings, almost identical. The team points per game, almost identical. Now, we can say Caleb has better weapons, agreed. I think a worse offensive line than Bo, but probably a better one than New England. But this week it was... So I just don't think it's accurate to say Caleb is playing the worst of the rookies, because then you'd have to throw out the 3 games he played, which was the best of those 3 rookies. But he had the highest expectations. Here is what I will put, Coach, to me on the coaching staff. During this 3-game terrible stretch, how many interceptions has Caleb Williams thrown? The answer is 0. PFF does those turnover-worthy plays thing. You know how many he has? 0. You know how many big-time throws he has in this 3-game awful stretch? 1. So what does that tell me? He's being coached to be too cautious. They are taking the Caleb Williams out of Caleb Williams. They're turning him, they was like, don't make a mistake. And you see it in the pocket. It's why the times he has a clean pocket, he's not letting it rip. It is, if my rookie quarterback's going to be bad, I want it to be Peyton Manning type of bad. 28 picks, 26 touchdowns, boom. That's who he is. And so you can't ask this player to be uber conservative and then be shocked when he's gun shy. Now, he needs to overcome that, but that, to me, he should never be the lowest interception rate of anyone in the league type of guy. That's not who he's going to be at his best, or certainly not at his worst. So, yes, it's on him. I also think making the coordinator change is good. And I also don't think the idea that Bo Nix and Drake May have been great and he's been terrible is accurate to the data or the film.
I think it is accurate because when you watch it, he's looked the worst out of the 4.
Has he also looked the best at his best?
No, Jaden looks.
No, I'm talking about
he
the
had
other
a few
3.
nice games, which flies in the face of your last. Like, you were searching for some, which I get, that's your guy, searching for a positive. That's why he's cautious. They're the same coaches. I'm sure they were telling him the same thing during that little 3-game stretch against the worst defenses in the league when he had the great passer rating. Like, I think he just holds the ball too long because he held the ball too long in college. And he could make things happen with his legs that he can't make happen in the NFL. And the stats, I mean, you and I have talked about this before. Stats don't always tell the story. We can throw up stats. Here's some that show the 3 guys. Well, Jaden obviously
been the
is
best
the best
by a mile.
But passer rating, they're better. Like you say, they're close. But yeah, they're close, but they're better. Completion percentage, not really that close. Drake May's much better than Caleb. And TD percentage, he's down there with Bo Nix. But the thing is, and you glossed over it, you used to always say this with Brock Purdy. You threw it all on. He's got great supporting cast. Caleb has an amazing supporting cast. He's got 3 number 1 receivers. 3 number 1 receivers. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze is going to be a number 1 receiver. He's got a really good tight end. DeAndre Swift is a Pro Bowl running back. The offensive line has been shaky, no doubt, but the defense is great. Like, I mean, the dude isn't getting it done. And I'm not saying he never will, but I'm saying he is to blame for a lot of this. So is the coaching staff, but he is not playing. Heck, Bo Nix has his team in position to make the playoffs. A team that was bad last year. If the season ended today, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix would be in the freaking playoffs.
The Broncos had a better record than the Bears last year.
They still were bad, but do they have the supporting cast that Caleb has in Chicago?
No, but the Broncos are in the playoff hunt because they have the second best defense in football right now.
The Bears got a really good defense too.
The Bears, I think, had a really good defense that appears to have quit post Hail Mary. That's just from watching the games. That's what it looks like to me. That the defense has given up post Hail Mary because they think the coach blamed it on the players.
So they're what? They're 4-5 now, right?
Yeah.
They're 4-5, and the Broncos
we're Hail
are 5
Mary away from being 5-4. With a winning record, and that Hail Mary had nothing to do with Caleb. It had nothing to do with Shane Waldron. So Shane gets fired because Caleb's playing terrible. So but he doesn't get a lot of credit when Caleb's playing well. So now we're talking about the rookie quarterbacks, and they're all pretty bad, and they're all going through struggles because that's what happens typically with rookie quarterbacks. You get some outliers like Jaden, some outliers like CJ. You get that, but typically they play badly. So this is an issue because of expectations. Okay, and it's the expectations that externally were put on them. It's the expectations that the organization put on him, and it's the expectations that Caleb put on himself. So pull up the
If we bring up this private text to a punter, I'm going to lose my mind. This is the only thing the guy said.
Just hold on a second. Lose your mind all you want, but you talk like this coming into
He didn't talk like this. He sent a friend a text who then revealed it.
Well, guess what? When you do those things in a locker room full of men, with a locker room
his dad,
with a locker room full of accomplished men, and you're a boy walking into that locker room who's given a ton of money and expectations, all the things that come with being the number one pick, and you talk like this
to another rookie privately.
It's not private. I'm seeing it.
How private is blow off CJ.
So there it is. Hey, we're going to bring that.
Smug.
We're bringing that up right next. So let's see what CJ said. Here's CJ's quote. Maybe you should listen to what CJ said. Remember how he blew him off and CJ was big broing him? Maybe you should listen, Caleb, to what the veterans say. Maybe you should.
He's not a veteran. He's played 10 more games than Caleb.
Okay.
He's much better than Caleb, though.
Maybe you should listen to a relative veteran who's had a high level of success and listen to the things he says. But no, we're going to fire Shane because, of course, it can't be any of Caleb's fault or the GM's fault
I've never
or the
seen a
organization's
rookie quarterback
fault.
be blamed for someone being fired. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen us say the rookie quarterback.
They are a Hail Mary away from having a winning record. And rookie quarterbacks typically struggle. But no, now because of the expectations, we're gonna fire Shane. And it's
that's fine. But that's an Eberflus or Ryan Poles or Bears ownership thing. There's a lot of reporting surrounding Caleb, and I know you're going to get to it in a moment. None of it is that he said get rid of Shane. Like this, we can say, I think we can hold both of these ideas in our head, which is if Caleb had played better, Shane Waldron probably would still have his job. But Caleb Williams did not get Shane Waldron fired the way.
What if they defended the Hail Mary? Do you think he'd still be fired today?
No, but you're not blaming Caleb for that.
No, but what I'm saying is there's so many of these factors, and the accountability. There's a lot of accountability in this. But unfortunately, one guy gets nailed with all the accountability, even though there's so many other factors that go into this, and we want to take all the accountability off the player, and that's not realistic either.
Let me throw this out there quickly. Here's one of the things that's a bit frightening about this situation, because we've seen it happen with several players, especially in Chicago. When he enters next season, Caleb, it's going to be likely with his third offensive coordinator already. Because I don't think they're going to keep this guy, if he works a miracle, But
it'll be a new coaching staff.
Yeah, and it's just going to be, even if it's I doubt it'll be Eberflus, but even if it is, it's going to be his third offensive coordinator in less than 2 seasons. That's not a good start for him.
Go, KW.
This is what I find the most concerning. It's from Bill Barnwell. And again, a lot of this is trying to make sense of and slice up the blame pie. So a lot of it has been on Eberflus, a lot of it has been on Waldron. But here's what Bill Barnwell wrote. And again, it's just facts. He's thrown more than 23% of his passes off target. The only other quarterback above 19 is Bryce Young. Some of that is pressure. That's because the offensive line's getting, nailed. But he's also
without pressure, he's been bad
worse. 19% of his passes off target without pressure. That's the thing that surprises me the most. Because I think I joked around on Twitter of everyone's shocked that the NFL pass rushers are faster than guys at San Jose State. But I
think you
did,
said Arizona
I said
State
Arizona State, and then
Twitter.
people came
San
out of
Jose
Arizona.
sounds better, though.
Yeah. In any event, that I don't know why that is happening.
Listen, I think he's rattled not playing well. I think that he had the early struggles, anticipated that. Then had that 3-game stretch and was like, yep, I knew I'd be Caleb Williams as I've been at Oklahoma, at USC, and here. And then when the Washington game happened where he played really poorly, he had the nice drive at the end, but then they lost it, and then the next game starts bad, I think he's in his own head not playing well. I don't blame the coaches for that. I do think they've coached out some of the aggressiveness, and I'd be fine with the mistakes if we also got the big plays. That's the Drake May thing. Drake May, it's big-time throws and then some bad mistakes. Go ahead.
Just vibe-wise, and I don't know what the answer to this, Coach, about expectations are. Drake May could lose every single game from this Rams game on forward, and Patriots vibes are pretty good.
Yeah, because there were no expectations.
No
That's
expectations.
the
Changes everything.
And then it feels like he has more room to grow.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.